What you get if you go to Bosnia is a real understanding very quickly of the hatred and horror of the war. We've actually got a community engagement team whose job it is to engage in communities to tackle hatred. That's also been a very powerful lesson that we've learned from Bosnia. So my trust is a large mental health trust. We've got over 4,000 staff. We treat about 68,000 people each year in Birmingham and Solihull. The thing that struck me most about Bosnia was actually seeing people who've been traumatised, seeing the genocide, the issues of trauma, sexual violence, and how people actually recover from tragic events is a really important part of our work in Birmingham. We've held 2 conferences. We've actually had survivors of some of the genocide and the sexual violence come over to Birmingham.
I think for me it was the deeper understanding of how easily neighbours, friends turned on each other, and how that hatred manifested itself. Bringing that learning back into policing is then giving my kind of frontline officers a greater understanding of how tensions occur. Some of the things that we've done is developing our new hate crime learning package, so including the lessons learned from Srebrenica. We held a hate crime conference in Warwickshire, which was headed by Warwickshire Police, working with partners, Love Not Hate, helping raise awareness of hate crime, Islamophobia, and then working with groups such as the local mosques to develop their understanding and help us to commemorate the events.
I think it would be beneficial for my friends and young people to learn about what happened in Bosnia. The Balkan War is not part of the national curriculum, and we should all remember the most recent genocide that took place in Europe.
3 boys from our lower 6th went out to Srebrenica. It made a tremendous impact on them, and one of the things they wanted to do was to spread that out into the school. They gave an assembly which was really quite deep and effective. They have prepared a series of lessons following their trip to Srebrenica, looking at the 10 steps of genocide. I think our pupils in particular, I hope they'll go on to be leaders in society and will influence opinion, to challenge hatred, to challenge bigotry, and to look to building stronger communities.
Bosnia was clearly a very peaceful community where people of different faiths and ethnicity got on really well, they coexisted. And yet those close, trusting relationships could be disrupted by the rise of nationalism, populism, and hatred could be stirred up. So I think it's really, really important now that we look at this question of what forms a strong soul, what makes someone able to withstand hatred, manipulation and propaganda. You cannot go and visit Bosnia without realising the importance of standing with your neighbour, the importance of not being a bystander but being an upstander. One of the first things we did when we got back was to host some Bosnian survivors with the Bishop of Birmingham. Quite soon after that we hosted an event at the Queen's Foundation, a theological college where I teach, and we had women from different faith communities making solidarity cards for the mothers of Srebrenica.
We as a Muslim cannot forget what happened in Srebrenica. The reason being is that it all happened because due to Islamophobia and the hatred against the Muslims. I have personally visited Srebrenica and I have seen those graves. And as a human being, for the rest of my life, I cannot forget. The genocide in Bosnia has affected the 3 million Muslims very deeply. Therefore, central government and local authorities all over UK must make it as a priority in terms of education for future generation, so that the Islamophobia and Muslim hatred is not spread by a small minority.
On Saturday morning, we variety of activity: Bosnian language, Bosnian culture, Bosnian heritage, Bosnian history. Of course, we talk about Bosnian war, genocide, and all that nasty things what happened between 92 and 95. to learn what is hate, to learn how to live to each other, how it's possible to live together side by side.
The work of Remembering Srebrenica is incredibly important because it helps to further strengthen the Bosnian community, especially those that have survived genocide and ethnic cleansing. And even with today's situation where within the country we see so much genocide denial, it's incredibly important that we have a charity like Remembering Srebrenica helping to facilitate so many commemorative events across the country. It's a great healing step. Remembering Srebrenica provides a platform, especially for the survivors, and not only helps to raise their voices but provides them with the support to help tackle things such as genocide denial and help make sure that justice is there for those people, especially the victims.